Well, today on Camilla I, we're photographing this marvellous bird if you're new to wildlife photography, a resident that is common up and down the country. And indeed, Camilla and I, we're very lucky in Salisbury to have a nesting colony of grey herons here at Britford. Because it's such a large, awkward bird, and indeed can stay motionless at the side of lakes for hours on end waiting to catch a fish, this is a marvellous subject, first subject potentially for your wildlife photography. And of course they're common up and down the country. There'll be a grey heron near you. Anyway, if you're new here, I'm Mark Cooper, a Royal Photography Society wildlife photographer based here in the UK, where we do local accessible photography on Camilla and I. So we're here today at Britford to photograph one of Britain's earliest nesting birds. It has quite a long gestation period, so it needs to start early in the year in order to raise those young. Herons generally like to nest at the top of trees in traditional, well-established colonies. I think this one goes back at least 70 years. Absolutely amazing here at Britford. And say local to Camilla and I, so we can't resist popping in to occasionally Britford to get the grey heron. It can be very difficult to get in a nesting situation, and indeed photographing the young is very difficult because they usually are at the top of trees. But last year we came across a lovely pair nest building at Pagham Harbour. So we were able to get some nest building shots and a bit of a love-in between the two birds at Pagham, which gave us an opportunity at a lower level because they were nest building only about 30 feet in the air, and from the path we had a clear view. Yeah, very lucky to get some nest building activity. But that indeed is one of the activities you can capture if you're local to a colony. Classic shots you must obtain, or is on the list of every wildlife photographer, is a grey heron with a stick in its mouth. Sometimes they look like they've got a broomstick. They carry so much material behind them or with them in one go. But an incredible bird and a great shot to have in your portfolio. So you don't need to be at a heronry like this. As I say, they appear everywhere, particularly if you visit larger lakes. You'll always have a grey heron fly, and often they'll fly low over water, so it's a great opportunity to get a slow, steady shot of a heron going across the water. And you can shoot as low as 1/1000th of a second because the bird is so slow and it's so predictable in its flight pattern. So again, a great first subject for birds in flight photography. You can even find a grey heron at the bottom of your garden, and indeed many a koi carp collector has found to his cost, if he hasn't netted his pond, these herons will, they don't care how much your fish costs, they will eat anything. And indeed not only fish on the menu, but also rats and mice. They are opportunist birds, they will eat anything. And that's one proviso to watch out for if you are photographing at heronry. Do not disturb the grey herons nesting, because if you do, they have a tremendous defence weapon, which is basically to regurgitate the contents of what they've just collected over the invader. So unless you want to come out covered, smelling fishy and God knows what else, don't go underneath a heron's nest. Okay. Anyway, as usual on Camilla and I, keep watching Camilla and I, and I'll show you my best encounter ever with grey herons at Arn in Dorset. Yeah, not to be missed. And of course it helps the algorithm if you keep watching. And oh yeah, don't forget to boop the like button. Whatever. Thanks. Today at Britford, I must admit I'm going for a specific shot which I haven't got to date. and doesn't happen very often. And that is a bird in flight coming through the trees behind. So yeah, quick flip you up a bit. Yeah, so the trees behind create this sort of marvellous backdrop for a heron to fly through, I believe, if I can capture it. And the autofocus system clicks onto the bird. Yeah, unfortunately the birds don't do this particular behaviour very often, so we'll have to be quite quick and quite stealthy, and we probably won't capture it with the 600mm. It'll probably be the light flexible option, the 300mm and the 2x converter 600mm on Camilla I, because then we can just quickly grab the shot if one of these beautiful birds performs for Camilla I. And whether they'll turn up at all when I've got a 600mm pointing at them, so I'll probably put that away in a minute. I'm recording a bit of video for you with the 600mm, the A9 III and the microphone. So road noise is a bit of a problem here, so I don't know how good the audio will be, but we'll give it a go. They do make an amazing cackle occasionally, the Grey Heron. Superb. What a magnificent bird to photograph for you today on Camilla I. So what I'll do is take you on a little tour of the Heronry now, and we'll just see a few angles and see what we can get. Okay. Well, I've just been pointing skyward, and the reason for that is there's been a couple of red kites circling the forest canopy, well, this little copse canopy, and obviously looking for an easy meal or perhaps some unguarded eggs. Usually the Grey Heron does keep one sentry on guard, but these red kites are looking for any opportunity. Anyway, some frame filling shots of the red kite from underneath. So yeah, pop one of those up. Great, lovely little bonus. Yeah, so we'll just work our way around the Heronry, I believe, and yeah, if you want to follow on, it's quite amazing. Amazing brick wall here, superb structure. Perhaps that's why they're in here. The main risk to the herons in their period of raising their young is the possibility that the heron falls out of the nest, because they are so ungainly, and yeah, if they fall out of the nest, then and they're too young to fly, then there's a possibility that a fox or a stoat or something will come along and kill the young bird. So if we come up to the roadway around here, unfortunately this is the main road from Salisbury to Bournemouth, and it is quite busy, but there are a couple of opportunities off here to get a shot, so we'll see if we can. Anyway, I'll show you the area. Might not be able to vlog from here because, say, the road is a bit noisy, but we'll give it a go. I've been run over here, but otherwise, yeah, it can afford some different angles. Move round to the quieter side now. We'll come round to what should be the quieter side, the Britford side. Britford is a very nice small village just outside Salisbury, say literally 2 miles from the cathedral. I'd say probably 2 miles from the cathedral. Stick coming in there. A nice angle actually, just saw a stick coming in there. Anyway, quick, yeah, flip you around, show what I mean. Yeah, I think, all wrong way, let's go up. Risk of getting run over here, but yeah, definitely some activity there, a bit of nest building, a stick coming in for the pile, and yeah, it's amazing. how they operate these birds. Yeah, it looks like a new nest being built there. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, nice to see one constructed from new. Yeah, you can see the stick just being put into position there. Incredible how they know how to produce these nests, especially if it's their first. Yeah, you can definitely see that pair have not completed the nest at all. It is literally, it's not even a third built. Incredible. Do be prepared to get a bit of neck ache when doing Heronry. They do tend to nest 60 foot in the air. Well, these are about, yeah, 40, 50 feet in the air, something like that. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, marvellous subject. They're not going anywhere, so they've been here for decades. So it really is just trying to get the best angle on the subject through the trees. I'm using spot focus because you have to try and get through all the branches to the subject, and I'm using 1/2000th of a second for any action or birds in flight. So yeah, we're hoping to capture that shot, but yeah, we'll be lucky. We'll carry on down towards Britford now, and the Britford Park Lane. Yeah, there's not a Mayfair down here, but there is a Park Lane, and it's probably Heron Park Lane. I think it's the. Oops, right, go. There you go. Didn't they come in there? There you go. Cheers. Well spotted. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, nearly run over. Ooh, that was close. Nearly run over by a Fiat. Oh, a Fiat lawnmower. I can't believe I didn't hear it coming. Anyway, yeah, so we've worked round. We're now in Park Lane, and yeah, this is the other angle of attack for the Britford Heronry. And there's also a whole rookery here. You can hear the rooks. And indeed, if you come in the evening, there's also some little egrets that nest here as well. They share the Heronry. So yeah, I've seen them come in overnight, but they're more difficult to spot. I can't see where their nests are from the road, unfortunately. We'll keep another eye out, you never know. Ooh, so it's a bit quieter down here, it's a bit more residential, and yeah, this is a good side to, well, catch your breath. No, not get run over. So if you don't want to get run over, so I nearly got run over by that Fiat, yeah, come down Park Lane at Britford and you see what you get. And we've come for another angle. Quick flip you around. Ooh. There we are. Sort of fence angle now. And again, well, the herons are up there. They're through there. And we've come round. We've almost got a 360 on the herons. Quite incredible. Actually got some snowdrops there. Shouldn't stay under this too long. I don't know if you're like me, I do suffer from early season pollen, and yeah, just for the first couple of months I'm quite lucky really, because it doesn't affect me for long, but I do suffer a little bit from early season hay fever. Snowdrops along there, undisturbed ground, you see. Well, just down Park Lane, we're actually opposite a house which is actually called Heron's View. Amazing. Because, yeah, we fancy having that view. And apparently the locals do actually complain. Well, they don't complain, they actually get very used to it. But it does get quite noisy in a heronry. and quite spooky. So they can make a lot of noise, herons. So, but obviously the residents are used to it. Anyway, we come to the end of sort of Park Lane, and anyway, this is an excellent opportunity here to get in-flight shots of the herons coming back, particularly first thing in the morning with sticks. So yeah, it's quite a good spot at the end of the road. You get the birds come up just over here, just flip you around. So the birds fly out from this copse at this angle, and yeah, it's quite normal from the first thing in the morning to be carrying sticks back to the nest. Anyway, I'm not here early enough today, I don't think, to photograph that activity. But we'll see. A frame-filling shot of a red kite. Obviously, they must find this a lucrative area, otherwise they wouldn't patrol it quite as much as they are. Well, I'll switch over to my zone in-flight mode, 1/2000th of a second, wide open at f5.6 with this combination, just in case a grey heron does return with a stick. There have been a couple building a nest still, so it is possible. But anyway, no, my best interaction with a pair of grey herons was at Arn in Dorset. I had an amazing fight between two fully grown herons, and I got a whole sequence of shots with the A1 and the 600mm. Absolutely incredible. An amazing subject, and amazing flight activity. Oh, we got a grey heron come back, but hasn't got a stick, I don't think. No stick, but it's come back, so I'll show you a couple of those. Yeah, I had this amazing interaction, and yeah, they just started fighting out of nowhere. Absolutely incredible. So lovely sequence, and probably my best action shots to date of the grey heron. So yeah, I'll show a couple of those. Marvellous subject. Anyway, let us know in the comments, have you got any great grey heron shots? Because it is a marvellous subject, always moving slowly, stealthily across the frame, usually at the lakeside, so you can always get a good boost, and it's particularly nice in low light. I'll show you this shot actually in low light. Remember, I took that Lanford Lakes only a couple of weeks ago, and it's just the light that makes this shot. Nothing particularly special, but the light does help the image. I just got one with a stick. Oh, congratulations, Camilla. It's a bit of a pathetic stick, but it's definitely a grey heron with a stick coming back. I've seen them carry much larger loads. Anyway, don't forget, usual, like, subscribe, follow Camilla and I for more adventures. Have a good one. Bye from Camilla and I.